On today's show, we debut a brand new interview series called Raising Guardians with our very first special guest, Tim Smith, father of your Cleveland Guardians star closer, CADE Smith.
You got CADE Smith's dad on this show.
We know people.
How did we do that?
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a good one.
3 guys, 2 generations, 1 baseball team. Just when you thought there were too many mediocre Guardians podcasts, we're here to bring you one more. This is the Die Hard Guards podcast with your hosts Brent, Tim, and Zian.
This is a very special edition of the Die Hard Guards podcast. I'm your host Brent, here with my father Tim.
Hello.
And my brother Zian.
Hey.
This episode is once again brought to you by our friends at 44 Pro. If you are serious about your game, you have to check out 44 Pro. They make fully customizable baseball or softball gear with pro-level quality. From colors to stitching, every detail is yours to choose, and here's a bonus. Use the code DHGuards25, that's DHGUARDS25, and get 25% off your first purchase. Order today and get great custom gear delivered right to your door. Click the link in the description and start creating your gear. 44 Pro. Custom is better. Welcome into the debut of our new interview series. In this segment, we sit down with the families behind our beloved Guardians to explore the journey that shaped the players you see today. Every early practice, every long car ride, and every unforgettable milestone, these are the stories of belief and unwavering support. This is Raising Guardians. We are beyond ecstatic to open up the series with none other than Tim Smith, father of Cleveland Guardians superstar reliever CADE Smith. Tim, first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
So we want to jump right into it. To kick this off, I think it's only fitting that we go back to the beginning. Okay. So
CADE Smith as a child.
CADE Smith, the beginning of CADE Smith's baseball journey. What is your memory of CADE's first true baseball experience?
Well, I grew up playing lots of sports. Baseball was one of them. Eventually, I started playing basketball in university in Canada. But baseball was always one of those things that I love to do. And originally, I was hoping to have a son so that I could play catch with him and, get him into some of those sports that I love and whatnot. And we signed CADE up pretty early. I think he was 4 when we signed him up for like T-ball. And
he was probably big enough at that point, right?
He was big enough for sure. The funny thing is that I remember sitting there with my wife. I wasn't coaching him at all. I had decided that I was going to try to help out. And, as a teacher, you have certain ideas about how to run a practice, right? It's like a PE class, right? You want the kids to be active and so forth. And so I was.
See, there's your problem. You're too organized for baseball coaches. You're way too organized. There you go.
Well, yeah, there was some of that. And I was like, I don't know. But, so my wife and I are sitting on the side of a hill. They have like a little bowl of grass and they're playing this baseball or T-ball. And what would happen is, the big thing was you get to first base, you get to jump on the base, and it had a horn in the base, right? Because they wanted to get there. And so it's supposed to make a noise and whatever. And so anyways, I'm watching it and a ball gets hit and there's like 5 kids that go and run and dogpile on it. And CADE is standing at first base and he is laughing at the other kids.
That's awesome.
And I turned to my wife and I said, "Dear Lord, he's not going to be competitive."
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what.
Dude, that's a great story.
Yeah.
No,
So
listen,
I was
clearly wrong. Clearly,
Yeah.
you assessed that wrong. Yeah, that was good. That's
absolutely
awesome.
I was much relieved when I got to see that competitive fire come out, but at the time there, I was a little nervous. I was like, "Oh boy."
So
That's
what age? What
incredible.
age do you think that competitive fire actually finally he went, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, because he's
I
got
can- I can do this, right?
that real stoic kind of stone faced, demeanor on the mound. So where did that come from? Where did you see that for the first time?
You know what? There's probably as he got playing more sports, like I got him into playing. I'm a basketball coach at my high school, and I've coached volleyball, both boys and girls volleyball, and I've coached track, and I decided to get my kids into playing some, club basketball when they were like grade 3, maybe. I think it was probably grade 3, and started to see those flashes of competitiveness there. Like he was definitely wanting to do what was right and do it well and that sort of thing. And so that competitiveness, it didn't take too long to actually come out for sure.
So you're a man after my own heart too. Cause I love baseball. These guys both grew up playing baseball. I coached it, and I actually have, I played college basketball as well. So it was the same, it was the same thing for me. So I'm like relating to your story here as you talk about it. And it's such similar story. It's so fun to listen to you talk about it. It's great. But but he really does like have this, like, it seems to me like he's genuinely like this, like everyone loves him in the dugout, like everybody, he's a great guy. But man, when he gets on the mound, he does have that look like you don't want to be standing in the box against this guy. Like he just has that look about him. Like he's all business. He's
that
like
fire.
Yeah. It's fun to hear how he got to that point.
I
he's
love
always
that.
had that kind of a intimidation factor. One of the stories that I remember is that when he was like 12, he got beaten by a pitch, and as he walked to first base, he stared at the guy the whole way.
Oh yeah,
that's
what I'm talking about.
It was so funny because I wasn't at that game. I was coaching someone else, I think, and my wife texted me, and I was just laughing that he wasn't necessarily going to want to go fight the kid, but he definitely
wanted him to know.
That's right. Remembered who did it, and he put it down. So
he wasn't going to let it happen again.
Now, was he always a pitcher?
You know what? He would do kind of whatever the team needed him to do, right?
Yeah,
so
perfect. Yeah.
He did that in basketball too. Like he'd play in the key, and he would defend and rebound, and in baseball, he was pitching pretty early. But he was actually also a first baseman. He had that reach, and he was actually really pretty calm at first base. Like, some kids can't, keep their foot in the bag.
They get happy feet. Yeah.
They get anxious on the hard throws. And, CADE and both my other son as well, they always had this calm demeanor, doing what they needed to do for the good of the team. Right. So, CADE was a decent hitter. He had tons of power. So it was honestly, it was fun to watch him out there.
Oh yeah.
That's great. So, kind of a two-parter here. So when did you first notice that he was falling in love with baseball? And in that same vein, when then did you realize that he had a real shot to go pro?
What's interesting is that the way that I was raised, I was super competitive, and I played all sorts of sports. Like my last year of high school, I think I was on 5 different teams. And so for me, I wanted to raise my kids the same way, right? Get them to try lots of things. And
right.
So I have 3 kids, and they all, they did volleyball and either baseball or softball, and they played basketball and so forth. They even did some track. And so we had CADE doing all of those sorts of things. And probably when he was in grade 8, 9, he was going to make a rep team, and we weren't sure how that was going to go. And we're like, well, he's probably in the top, 5, so he'll probably get to pitch quite a bit. And that year, all of a sudden, we're like, actually, he's not the top 5. He's like top 1.
Yeah.
Him and another kid were pretty good, and he had actually gone to Ohio with a tournament when he was 12, and that was a kind of a provincial team is what we had, and we went and played in the CABA tournament in Dayton, Ohio.
We played there. Yep.
Yeah, they played in that too. These guys have played in that.
Okay. Yeah, we went to the Toledo Mudhands Park for part of the ceremony and whatnot. And that team actually was pretty good, 12-ish. They had, I think, 7 kids that made the junior national team.
Wow.
And CADE was one of those.
Wow.
But he'd actually started to put some things together. And we had him working with a coach during the off season. His name was Sean Corness. He was a coach, pitching coach at UBC, University of British Columbia. And Jeff Francis is probably the most significant kid that played for him and then made it to the MLB. And he would work with CADE, maybe once a week, sometimes a little less often. And so all those things started to kind of pay off a little bit in grade 8 and 9. And that's kind of when we're like, okay, he's actually pretty good at this. And he realized that he was pretty good at it. And so, but he was not people weren't knocking down his door to get him to sign like, oh, he's going to go Div 1, he's going to go this.
Right.
It was just, hey, well, we'll see how far it goes, right? And so it was a bit of a journey of perseverance and hard work.
Yeah.
Well, by the time he was in grade 11, he was playing with a decent program around here. High school baseball in Canada doesn't quite work out of high schools. It's all community based.
Right.
And they have like a Premier League is what they call it. And so he started playing with a Premier team. And, coaches make a huge impact on a kid, right?
Sure.
Whether they believe in them, whether they actually trust them and that sort of thing. And CADE had a coach who, was pretty particular in some of his views and had some interesting strategies for improving kids. And he didn't quite trust CADE. Like CADE wanted to hit, and he's like, well, do your pitching stuff, and then we'll let you hit. And CADE would you've seen his work ethic. He just worked super hard, and then he's like, okay, I'm ready to, hit. And they're like, yeah, I don't think you did it. I don't think you go do your pitching stuff. And it got to the point where CADE was ready to quit baseball.
Wow.
And so we ended up talking to a friend of ours, and so the Premier League would cover like 3 or 4 cities or towns, but then there'd be like individual town baseball associations. And so through a number of circumstances, CADE actually left the Premier team to go work with a town and their kind of highest level. It was called college prep. And that was a pretty big deal. It caused some turmoil in the community there because people were like, what are you doing? Like you're moving him down a level, right? Like a Premier team might have 7 kids who go get some sort of junior college scholarship. A Premier team or a college prep team would only have maybe 1, maybe 2 of those guys.
Yep.
So people thought we were crazy. What are you doing going backwards? Like, he's going to miss out on so many things. But for him, it was working with this coach, Corness, working with his friend's dad, Scott Pancratz, and kind of really started to love the game again.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's what it's all about, right? I mean, if he doesn't take that step back, we're probably not talking about him right now in the Major League Baseball. I mean, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
We thank you for that move, by the way, as Guardian fans.
Yeah.
Thank you
immensely. Yes.
But you know what though? There's a good lesson in that good coaching matters. Baseball, they're gonna work to find you wherever you are. And so it was funny because this association had never had anyone recruited really significantly, and suddenly we have scouts at the games, and what was funny about it was that the umpires weren't used to having scouts at the games either. And Connor Glassy is one of the scouts for the Indians on the West Coast, and he's at the game, and the umpire is squeezing CADE, and his coach goes out there, and he starts like yelling at the umpire, and the umpire's like, "Yeah, sorry, I was squeezing him more than I meant to."
More than I meant to.
We're just trying to show the scout how good he is.
Well, that's it. Like, he's not scouting the umpire, man. Like, what?
Yeah.
Hey, it could have been his big break. You never know.
The umpires move up too. No.
So when he started getting scouted, did he start doing more traveling, or what was the process there?
CADE stuck with his team for his senior year of high school. And they had a big tournament. It was partly sponsored by the Blue Jays and Roberto Alomar. It was called the T12. And
Roberto Alomar, ex Cleveland Indian. Love it.
Yeah, Hall of Famer, right?
Love it.
The Blue Jays do so much across the country here. Like, they run clinics, and you had Roberto Alomar at the camp. You had Devon White. You had all these former MLB guys. It was fantastic. But they had this tournament at the Rogers Centre in Toronto, and they would put together teams from across Canada. And CADE got to go to this tournament in his grade 12 year. And, there was some buzz, but it wasn't crazy. And it was funny because the first day they had probably, I don't know, I'm going to say 75 major league scouts, and they probably had another 200, 300 college scouts. And it was funny because they're like, yeah, CADE was supposed to pitch the first day, but you know what? We're going to bump him and put another kid because they want to see him and so forth. And so we're like, okay, that's interesting. And anyways, one of the coaches, or actually a couple of coaches, stayed obviously the second day, and CADE went out and pitched pretty well. I know UBC had hoped that they were going to get him, and the coach actually turned around during when CADE was pitching, and he's like, "Well, I don't think he's coming to UBC." So that was good for us.
Yeah, for sure.
But what was interesting was we went home, and all of a sudden we got a call from one of CADE's former teammates, and he had already gone to the University of Hawaii. And he said, hey, the University of Hawaii is going to give you a call. And so we're waiting for that call. And then we actually got a call from the coach of the junior national team, Greg Hamilton. And he's done a lot for baseball in Canada. And he invited CADE to come to the junior national team. And then we got a call from the University of Hawaii coach, Mike Trapasso. And he's like, hey, how do you guys feel about coming out for a school visit for the weekend?
And you said yes, of course, like, right? It's Hawaii.
You said 3 weeks? Is that what you said?
You told
I wish it was 3 weeks. No,
yeah.
It was, and I'm like, who goes to Hawaii for the weekend, right? Like, so that was kind of the start of, okay, there's something here. And we had a number of scouts start to, call us and talk to CADE. And there's a legendary scout in Canada named Walt Burrows, and he used to be with the MLB draft for all of Canada.
Yep.
And then teams started to get their own guys, and he ended up going and being a scout for the Twins. And so, like, a guy like Walt Burrows, he comes and wants to have just dinner with our family just to see how we operate. And so that was kind of wild because you're like, what do we feed them? And
how does this work? What does a major league scout eat?
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, you're on the road all the time, get some home cooking or what? So he just wanted to see us interact and see what kind of kid CADE was and what our family was like and what we were about and all those sorts of things. And so it was quite a journey. And then you're starting to go, okay, he could actually get drafted, right? Like that was actually we didn't take anything for granted, and we certainly didn't know. But the national team and so CADE only got one offer, and that was from Hawaii. And
Wow.
we were like, okay,
we're shocked by that. By the
blown
way,
away by
shocked
that.
by that.
Yeah, it was. He didn't do a lot of tournaments in the States where he would be doing the combines, right? Like Perfect Game hadn't really taken off. It was pretty expensive.
Right.
We went to one school in Arizona just as their ID camp, and it was so funny because really they're like, "Oh, you're from Canada. Wow, that's great. Yeah, that's pretty good." And we're like, "Yeah, man, we love to come here. Like that's why we're here." And yeah, okay. We kind of have enough pitchers in Arizona. We don't really need you. And
boy, did they miss out.
Yeah, the funny thing was that CADE made the junior national team for the under 18 World Cup, and the coach that wasn't interested in him ended up coaching the USA team, and CADE pitched against him in the World Cup.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it was a wild kind of journey for sure.
That's fantastic.
So tell us a little bit about the dynamic of he goes to Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
What was kind of the most difficult thing for you guys aside from the distance, obviously?
What was interesting about Hawaii was that CADE probably had different priorities than a whole bunch of the kids. He was going there for school.
Right.
He had no guarantees about going pro. The coach was trying to motivate CADE, and CADE is a really smart kid. He's always been smart. Like, not many kids ask for a vivarium. And you're like, what is a vivarium? And you're like,
that's
I
great.
have no idea. But he liked lizards. And so he was like,
So
yeah,
good.
and he could tell you so many things about dinosaurs. And so when it got to baseball, he wanted analysis. He wanted data. He was actually probably ahead of where the university was at the time, right?
So what you're saying is now he clearly knows his spin rate on a daily basis. Is what you're saying?
He knows lots more than
yeah, I'll bet. And he pitches like he knows a lot of things. So that's good.
Yeah. Like he really was thinking, I'm going to try to go into medicine of some kind. He was interested in like eye surgery. He was this really smart, cerebral kid. And he's not the kind of kid that you can just go, yell at him and go, come on, man, like try harder. He is trying, and he is trying to understand and that sort of thing. And so what was funny about the University of Hawaii was that, he was probably ahead of his time there. But, his classes, he's like, well, you know what? I don't know what this baseball is going to do. I got to work hard in my classes. And so he had science professors who were like, you could be a professor at a university one day. And CADE's like, actually, I'm a baseball player. The guy's like,
no, you're not.
You're a professor. You're a
Listen,
if
you've ever met a baseball player,
I'm like you. I grew up playing baseball and I coached baseball. There's not many guys like that.
Yeah. So for him, it was a bit of an adjustment. One of the reasons why we didn't actually really want him to go sign with the Twins at the end of high school was that physically he would have been fine. Mentally, it would have been hard for him to be 18 and in the minors and not have the confidence to be without some support structures and whatever. Yeah. And so Hawaii was actually a good choice for him to mature and that sort of thing. They used him in different roles. He was a starter. He was a reliever. The crazy part was that when COVID hit in 2020, we are like, what do we do, right? Like, he had a great outing. I think last outing he pitched was against Oregon, and they were highly ranked. And he came in the first inning because the bases were loaded and everything, and he went on to strike 9 guys out and get the win. And, it was great. And then COVID hits, and we're like, dude, you're on an island. Is there going to be shortages?
Yeah.
What do we do? Do we bring you home, right?
Yeah.
And it was a big year because they weren't sure what they're going to do with the draft and all of that sort of thing. And so Hawaii was a good learning experience. COVID sucked though, eh?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll bet.
No
Just
doubt.
a little bit.
So COVID hits.
Yeah.
And what was the next step there? Because obviously, the entire world shuts down, not just the baseball world, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually said, Cade, you got to come home. And at that time, he was not sure. And, in our town, we had people already going on runs to Costco and hoarding stuff. And we're like, man, if they can't get stuff on the island, like this could be bad. And so we just told him he's got to come home. And so he did. And Hawaii ended up being a little bit crazy with the COVID regulations. And so did Canada. And they actually locked the baseball fields. And so Cade's got to find some place to work out. And, he was doing dumbbells and such in our basement. He had his brother who's 4 years younger. He would throw with him some. And we actually...
When you say throw at him,
well,
it had to be difficult to catch that, right?
Yeah. My younger son was a pretty good ball player.
Yeah.
And so actually what ended up happening was we actually had to use a step ladder to get into the baseball stadium.
Nice. I love it. Love
Cade
it.
could pitch off a mound. This lady walks by and she's like, you guys shouldn't be in there. And we're like, lady,
No.
this is the safest place for him because
That's right.
nobody's going to get hurt. He's on a mound, and we're all family, right? So it was a bit insane. But him and Trey and would throw and hit, and at some point we actually got some of Trey's friends together, and we kind of hid from other people's sight. But Cade pitched against these kids. And, they're, by this point, they're probably 10th grade, 11th grade, some grade 12.
That had to be horrifying.
Well, it was funny. I have a pretty funny video of them like,
I'll bet.
Nope, and walking out of the batting cage. Right?
Yeah.
The funny thing is his younger brother did make contact a few times. And
little bragging rights there.
well, by contact, I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
Let's put it in play.
yeah, it went forward, and probably was
Yes.
the first or something.
A win
like
is
that.
a win.
Exactly. And so, yeah, it was totally bizarre. But Cade was really trying to work hard and stay strong, and he was hoping that he'd be drafted, and
So at that point, right, he's seeing kind of the light at the end of the tunnel, right?
yeah.
He's seeing like I got a real shot here. I gotta keep working.
Well, again, like he was, like he looked the part, right? You got 6'5", long arm, like all this stuff. There were some mechanical things that he was trying to work on, and the stuff that we were getting was like, oh, he'll probably be between the 4th and the 10th round is what we were being told.
Right.
And they go, oh, we're only gonna do 5 rounds. And so then it becomes a thing of, okay, this is interesting. And, he was drafted in the 16th round out of high school.
Yep.
And, 4th to 10th is better for sure. And, he had decided that he had to decide whether to do school full-time or baseball full-time. It's really hard to do both half-time.
Yeah,
And
no doubt.
he really wanted to see what he could do with baseball. And so we watched that draft pretty interested. It actually came down to, I think, I think the last pick in the 5th round was Minnesota.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, are they going to pick him? Like, this would be an amazing thing, you know, like they've had him on his radar, they've drafted him once, right? Like, this might be his chance. And then they didn't pick him.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know what, there was some disappointment, but, you know, Cade was pretty certain that, you know, it wasn't over. Like, he actually had started getting all these teams emailing him, and they were giving him brochures about their program or sending him videos. And so there was about probably 10, 11 teams or so that were, you know, messaging him.
Oh, so he's basically he's on the radar of a bunch of teams, but in that shortened draft, they were just right. He just fell out of that shortened draft, and now they're trying to, hey, keep working because we're still watching, right?
Well, and the thing was too that the MLB said that the most you can pay anybody who's a free agent at this point is $20,000.
Right.
Yeah.
So if it had been a regular draft, like, you could have gone, you know, minimum 150 through the first, you know, 10 rounds, and then you can actually, you know, if you're going to offer somebody more, you take away from some of the money that you've spent in the draft already, right? So the slot money. Yep. Anyways, you know, there's all these teams, and like on one hand, you have the Toronto Blue Jays who always like Canadian kids, and you have all these different organizations, and you're hearing some of the ones you're like, well, I hear they're going to sign a whole whack load of guys, and then you kind of get lost, right? Because, you know, typically free agents haven't done well,
right,
in the history of the draft. And anyways, as Cade had conversations about Cleveland and, you know, their pitching stuff, and that became a thing that was very clear. Like, this might be actually a great opportunity.
It seemed like a match made in heaven, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Cade with the science mind stepping into the Cleveland baseball lab.
Yeah,
like that's
absolutely.
It's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, so I think he signed on my birthday in June.
Oh, and, that's a happy birthday there, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. And, you know, they had Zoom meetings for trying to get them ready to get into the organization. He continued to work. He continued to throw into a fence. When his brother wasn't available, he did whatever exercises he could do with his body weight, dumbbells and stuff at home. And, you know, he was really chomping at the bit to get going. And, you know, that's one of the things that I would say defines Cade is his ability to work hard and persevere, right? Because you think about, you know, you have this, you're ready to quit in grade 11, and then you only get one offer, and then you know, run into COVID, and then you don't get drafted. And I mean, man, there's a lot of people who would quit after that.
Pack it up. That's right. Yeah. No, and it shows in the, you know, it's interesting because it shows in the way he has pitched in the major leagues for the Guardians. So, you know, because when you think about when he came up, you know, we were all excited to see him throw, and then he gets out there, and we realize this is like a leverage spot guy. Like, this is the guy we can, like, right off the bat, like, this is a guy who can come in and get outs in a pinch, you know, and then to go through that, to get to that level, and then all of a sudden, you know, with what happened last year with Clase and the closer, and then he steps right into that role, and we don't miss a beat. Like, we lose the best closer in baseball, and Cade steps in, we don't miss a beat. I mean, that it shows, the perseverance shows.
Yeah. And you know what, like, for Cade, I remember hearing something when I was younger, and my wife and I were just new parents, and someone asked, as this article or something that I read was, would you rather have your kid be talented or hardworking? And
I'll take both, though. I take both.
Well, that a talented kid, if that's all they have, which is pretty great, right? Like, athletic giftedness and whatever. But if you think you're talented and then you run into an obstacle or you run into somebody who's better, I don't know, maybe I'm not that talented.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then people often quit when they realize that it's actually not easy.
Yeah.
But if you raise your kids with, are you hardworking? Right? Like, you must have worked really hard on that test to get that mark. Oh, you must have really worked hard on this. And you reward the hard work, because you're not always going to have success. You're not always going to breeze through people. Like, it actually is hard work. And I think that's one of the things that we tried to instill. But definitely CADE has that for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. Like, and that's what we love. We talk about that on the show a lot, because, Cleveland's always has a lot of young players coming in to play because of the way we do business, but it's for us, we talk all the time about what we love to see is when the young players come up and play with confidence, because we've seen a lot over the years. We've seen a lot because we're crazy fans. We're crazy baseball fans. So we watch the minor leagues. Like, we know what you've done in the minor leagues probably better than anyone, because we are constantly watching our minor league players, because we understand the way Cleveland operates is bringing guys up through the system to help us win. So when we see guys come up that are performing well, that come to the major leagues and they struggle, to perform for a period of time, we're always watching them in games going, I just want to see that confidence. Like, just show me that confidence that you played with in AA and AAA. Just show me it one time. That's what I want to see. And, I can tell you right now, CADE, you never saw it. Like, you never saw the moment of even giving up a home run, you never see that, like, I'm in trouble look. It's always like just determination to get back in and win. I mean, that's why we're such big fans of CADE.
Well, it's interesting because when CADE was at the last World Baseball Classic, they were playing Team USA, and he was going against the guys, and Bo was his catcher, and they came off the field, and they were going to be mercied. And CADE sat down with Bo, and he's like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is the plan that I have. And he's going to get, like, he was in AA at the time, I think.
Yeah.
And he's going against Team USA. And Bo's like, dude, we're going to get mercied.
Mike Trout's coming up next inning.
Yeah, but he was totally preparing to go back out there if he was needed, right? And so, I'm obviously super proud of his hard work, and he's done what the organization's asked him. He's pitched in any situation. He's got his velo up to, last year in Seattle he touched 99.8 or 99.9, right?
Yeah.
Like, he has worked very hard, and this off season we went to visit him, and him and his brother went to the gym for like 4 to 5 hours each morning. I didn't go because I probably couldn't have handled 5 hours at the definitely they did, and it was just that hard work, right? Like, this is what I have to do, and be prepared for the opportunities.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, and really, he's really made the most of all those opportunities. That's what's so remarkable about watching. But we talk all the time about Jose. We're watching a Hall of Famer, play every day, and what a privilege it is to be a fan when you get to do that. CADE's building the kind of resume that's making you one of the best relievers in all of baseball. I mean, that's the reality. We're getting to watch we're getting to watch the birth of this, one of the best relievers in baseball right now. I mean, it's just fun to watch him.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it is fun to watch. It is a little hard on his mom, and
I can only imagine.
A few days it's been hard on me, but no, you know what? He is where he wants to be. He is working hard to be prepared, and so it's
What is that? What's he looking for this year? I mean, a guy like that who's motivated like that, self-motivated and really always searching for that next thing, like going into this season, knowing he's the closer now, right? Knowing he's the guy. What is that next thing he's really kind of trying to do going into this season? Has he talked to you at all about like what his goals are?
I think early on it was, originally I know he did want to get 100 strikeouts that first year.
Yeah.
And it's pretty crazy when Cleveland didn't have a relief pitcher who did it in 25 years.
Yeah.
And then he's done it back to back. And
I know.
And, I'm like, that'd be fun to do again. Hey, son, like, wouldn't that be great?
You're giving him goals then. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Yeah. But honestly, what's interesting about him is that he's not taking any of this. I've said something to him and, we're like, hey, we should, come for this series. And he's like, well, Dad, I got to make the team first.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm
good.
Like,
no, I'm glad he takes that mentality. Really, I got to be honest with you. I think a lot of great players think that way. So that's brilliant. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So I think he recognizes it's an opportunity for him. He recognizes the job that he has potentially. I know that he is very focused on doing the best he can for his teammates, for the coaches staff. Like he is a team first guy. And, that's why when they ask him and, well, what are you thinking about, this? Are you nervous coming to the game? And he's like, the phone rang. They called my name. I'm going to go do my job. And that's actually it, right? That's actually what he wants to do. And he is trying to do the best he can on that day. And it's awesome to watch, right? Like he is pretty assured of what his identity is in, and baseball is only a part of it. It's an important part for sure, but he's more than just a baseball player, right? Mm-hmm. And so he has that mindset, which is in some ways freeing. It doesn't mean that he cares less, but he definitely knows that he wants to do this. He knows that the fans are, engaged with every pitch, and he knows that the team is, and he's doing kind of the best he can. So,
no, we love that, and really that the psychology of that mentality, right? I think that's what really does make for really good players, confident players. Right. When they take that approach of I am just going to go out every day. It's not, this is part of who I am, but it's not everything about me. Right. And it is a game, right? It is a game, and it's a business, and it's all that. And, but when you can understand that, and you can still say, I win or lose, right? I always want to win. I'm always going to do my best. But when I walk off the field, I'm still just CADE Smith, right? I'm just this guy, and I have a family, and I have all these things. That's I think that's when you can keep that in perspective, it probably helps you become a better player. And I think a lot of guys probably do get caught up in losing sight of that when they put too much pressure, and that's kind of why they don't perform.
Yeah, sometimes. And that's where that understanding of, how you said he knows who he is, that's where that comes from.
Yeah. So, there's two things there that kind of remind me of. One is that he does care. Like if he blows a save, it does eat at him a little bit for sure.
Oh yeah. I'll bet. Anyone who's competitive, right? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. The other piece is the mental toughness piece, right? Like if I was to look at, his hard work and understanding and all that, the significant moment that stands out from last year was when he was in Seattle, and we were sitting there live, and he pitches to Rowdy Tellez, and it was actually funny because it was like Randy Arozarena, and we have history going back to the last World Baseball Classic with Randy, because he hit a double off CADE when he was fooled on the pitch. They didn't guard the line, and anyway,
gets a barrel on,
So we're not a big fan of Randy or
No.
And then Rowdy Tellez comes up, and he hits this pitch right back at CADE, and it hits the bill of his cap.
Yeah.
Oh my, I remember this.
Yes. Yes.
It was crazy. Like you watch it again, and man, it is such a blessing that it actually just hit the bill and didn't hit him in the face or in the head. And you know, for us watching it, we were mortified, and I'm like, take him out.
Yeah.
And then they let him stay in the game.
That was yeah. We went crazy. Like we were like, what is happening? Like, because the replay, they had replayed it like 10 times.
It hit
on
like the direct
TV,
middle of
right
the
in the
bill
middle of the bill. And we were
yeah.
like, oh, they had to catch him somewhere, you know, and then he just gets up and pitches. It's crazy.
Well, and honestly, the funny thing is that I'm like, well, if you make it a thing, right? You make it a big event that he almost got hit, you take him out of the game, you actually do make it a big deal for mental toughness.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then he goes in there, he stays in there, and he strikes the guy out.
Yep.
But what got me was the next night they have him face the exact same guys.
Yeah.
And so for me, you know, I've been a coach a long time. I've read and, you know, watched things about sports psychology. I'm like, what are they doing to him? Right?
Talk about mentally tough right here.
Guys. And, you know, it was beautiful because he just went, you know, I think it was like a strikeout, ground out. And then with Rowdy Tellez, he, you know, basically it said on the broadcast, he hit 100 to strike him out. And I'm like, that is a significant moment because that is all the fear, all of what happened last night. And he is being tough enough to deal with that. And it's not a thing, right? Like it's not a big deal now. And so that was such an impressive point of just being mentally tough, right? So,
love it.
So, kind of in a similar vein of mentally tough, right? Let's take a step back to his debut. Okay. I read an article that you had an open heart surgery.
Yeah.
Walk us through that process leading up to the surgery and subsequently to that debut.
Yeah. So it's actually a bit of a crazy story. I had no idea that anything was wrong with me. You know, I had been running and exercising, and I'm a physical education teacher, and I coach, and I'm doing all these things, and I'm golfing. This will be early 2023, and I'd be walking up like the hill to the tee box, and I'd be like, "Whew, that's a little challenging. I don't know why that's so challenging. It shouldn't be that way." And it persisted for a couple of months. And so finally I decided to go to a walk-in clinic. And turns out the guy's name is Dr. Hart. And
ironic.
He listens to my heart. And he goes, "You have a heart murmur." And I said, "Haha, no, I don't." And he's like, "No, you have a heart murmur. And so I'm like, okay, that's interesting. He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to arrange for you to go see a specialist." And so I didn't hear anything. And so I had phoned, and they said usually it takes 3 to 6 months to get in to see a cardiologist. So we'll phone you and let you know. So in the meantime, we were preparing to go to Akron. We were going to drive out to see CADE. We didn't know what team he was going to be on when we kind of planned this trip. So we planned the date when Akron and Columbus and Cleveland were all home for a homestand. And my daughter came home from a missions trip where she'd been playing basketball in Thailand and Cambodia and Philippines. And the day before we were to leave, she got a blood clot from flying. And so she had to go to the hospital. She had to get some blood thinners. And we're like, well, we can't leave now. And so we're like, CADE, we're going to not be able to come. And then the next day, I got a call for a cardiologist appointment in 3 days. Wow. So it was like
going on there.
Put in place, and we're like, okay, I got to go see a cardiologist. So now we hadn't seen CADE since March at spring training. It's now August, And I go to see the cardiologist, and he's like, "Yeah, you've got a serious heart murmur." And we're like, "Okay, what does that mean for us?" And he's like, "Well, I need to do more tests." And so we were hoping to see CADE. He was in the middle of getting his residency because he had married an American, and he wasn't allowed to leave the States while that was going through because then he'd have to start over.
Wow.
And so ends up September, I get hospitalized after a test. They're basically like, "Yeah, we need to deal with this." And it turns out I have a genetic defect with one of the valves in my chest. My aortic valve is a bicuspid valve, which means it's supposed to have 3 flaps. It only has 2, and those 2 flaps aren't working. And so basically I was told I had to have open heart surgery, and there's a couple different options. And, one is that you're going to get a artificial valve and be on blood thinners and all these things. And so, for us, it's a challenge. For CADE, it's a challenge because he's off playing baseball, can't come home. The other kind of undercurrent is that my wife's grandpa died when he was quite young. My father-in-law died when he was 51 of cancer before I could meet him. My dad died from complications of a car accident when he was 47. And here I am. I'm like 52. My kids are the same age as I was when my dad died and when my father-in-law died. And I'm like, I don't want to be the 3rd generation to have this happen.
Yeah.
And so it was a pretty serious time. It was pretty stressful. CADE, the oldest son, figured he needed to be at home, but he couldn't come home. And so anyways, I had surgery December 19th, and it was not easy. It was hard, man.
Oh, I'll bet.
I was on the heart lung machine for about 6 hours, 6.5 hours, and I was 5 days in the ICU. And the whole time it was hard for CADE and my other kids. And my wife was, some nights she slept in the parking garage at the hospital because she didn't want to go home. And so anyways, fast forwarding, the one thing I was hoping was that I could go to spring training. And the thing was, I went and saw my cardiologist, and he's like, "Yeah, sorry, you can't go."
Ouch.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, but like, this is what I was looking forward to. And he's like, "So you can't go." So I tell CADE, and we don't get to go on our spring break, and I'm on medical leave still, and pretty devastated. I'm like, I should have had a more simple surgery, and I was kind of in that kind of a midst, and so it'd been a full year since we had seen CADE. And he calls, and he's like, "Can you guys come to Oakland? Because I think I'm on the team."
Wow.
And we're like, "Oh man, can we do this?" So we said we're going to work on it. So I messaged my cardiologist. I said, "It's not an emergency, but this is important." And we saw him on his lunch. He kind of snuck us in, and he's like, "Okay, because this is a once in a lifetime thing, we'll let you go to Oakland. It's a short flight. You're on blood thinners. If you can get insurance, you can go." And so we checked our travel insurance from my wife's work, and they said, "Okay, if it's 90 days after surgery, you're free to go."
Wow.
Turns out we flew out on day 92.
Oh, wow.
So we were amazed. And so we got to the airport. They picked us up. We got to the hotel in time to get on the family bus for the practice day before opening day. And the first time we get to see CADE in a year is on the field in Oakland.
Oh,
absolutely incredible.
Fantastic. That had to be a great reunion there.
Yeah, it was a long hug, that's for sure.
Just a culmination of that whole year. My goodness.
Yeah.
So so we spent time obviously with him and his wife Liz, and we we still didn't know for sure that he was on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next morning, the kids are playing cards and we're all hanging out. And I tell you, and I'm scrolling Twitter for any any insight into who's on the roster and all of that kind of stuff. And so sure enough, it starts popping up on Twitter that he's going to be on the roster. And I'm like, can we celebrate? And he's like, no, I don't know yet. Then he started to get a couple messages from coaches on his phone, and he's like, okay, we can celebrate. So we had a huge hug and we yelled at the top of our lungs.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay, whose turn was it? And he sat down to play cards again.
Well, there was business left to be done on the card table.
Absolutely. But yeah, so we go to the game and we're watching, and you know, when he finally did get in on that Saturday, we had to fly out on Sunday, so we were hoping he was going to get in before we had to leave. But yeah, he got in on that Saturday and goes in there and he strikes out 3 guys, and and I'm like, that's great, take him out.
Yep.
Right? Like, let's not spoil this. This is pretty good.
Well, he's had quite a few strikeouts since then, so
no doubt.
Well, then he goes back out and does it again, right? So
so good.
And you know, a couple of reporters come over and they go, you know, your son is the story of the day. And of course they're making me tell about my surgery, and it was also raw that you know, tears start rolling down my face. And it was so funny because I told Zach Meisel, I'm like, dude, don't tell anyone I cried, because there's no crying in baseball. And what does he do? He opens the article with the whole thing, right?
Yeah,
that's great.
No,
thanks a lot.
We just love that. I mean, listen, the reason why we want to do this segment and you know, wanted to have you on was because those are the kind of things that really, you know, people can relate to, right? When they hear about your family, there's so much about your family that I can relate now to our family. It really does. It really relates a lot of your story, and you know, and then you guys going through that experience, that the health issues, and you know, that all culminating in the success now that he's had. And, you know, here you guys are happy watching it happen and healthy again. And, you know, it's just great.
Tim, that was just above and beyond anything we could have ever expected. Thank you so much for spending the time with us and talking about everything. Please tell CADE we're so thankful for the opportunity to watch him pitch.
Yep.
We wish him the best of luck heading into the spring. I did want to touch on something real quick, just
for sure.
A little minute detail. There has been a lot of speculation. Is he going to be throwing in the World Baseball Classic?
The economics of baseball are interesting, right? And you know, this
especially
is a big
in
year
Cleveland.
For CADE. Yeah, sure. That's a big year for CADE, right? With arbitration potentially at the end of this year, and you know, he has a new role as a closer, and the ability to pitch at the World Baseball Classic with your country's name on your chest, it's a pretty amazing thing. I've seen CADE do that in the 18U World Cup. I've seen him do it at the WBC a couple years ago. Man, it was so fun to see him out there, and you see the passion of the crowds and everything else. But you know, he has to prepare for this season, and you know, as exciting as those were, I think the playoff games, not this last year, but the year before, we went to those games when Detroit was in Cleveland, and then they got to play the Yankees in the ALCS. Those games were electric, and you know, it was an amazing thing to be there to see. And so, I think CADE is really fixated on doing the stuff for the Guardians and preparing the best he can. And while it would be nice We're hoping that he'll get a chance in the future again to represent Canada.
Yep.
Even though everyone keeps talking about him being on Team USA, but he's not.
I know. We'd like that too.
We're just trying to adopt him, I think, right? So,
Yeah.
No, we understand. And there's no question. We're thrilled to hear it. I mean, we know he's dedicated to his craft and being a pitcher and being that closer for us, and we appreciate that so much. And we know he's going to get more opportunities in the World Baseball Classic because he just is who he is, right?
Yeah,
there's no doubt they're going to ask him to come back and pitch for Team Canada.
Yeah, we can't wait to see him take that next leap.
Yeah,
and really truly become that established superstar that we know he is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tim. Seriously, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It was great to talk to you. Yeah. Great to meet you. Great to talk to you. It was fantastic to hear the stories.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe we'll have you back. We'd love that. We love that if you'll have us.
Yeah. When he's breaking all these records, we got to get you back on.
Oh man. Well, I hope so. So yeah,
perfect.
I appreciate that, guys. Thanks so much.
That was Tim Smith, father of Cleveland superstar CADE Smith.
How great was that interview?
What a surreal experience for our first interview. That was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and for all you out there, I mean, it's kind of rare to get that insight from a family member, right? It's not because CADE Smith sees it the way CADE Smith sees it. So when he sits down to do an interview, he's looking at it from inside, like what his feelings were and all that stuff. But now you get to look at it from what his parents actually witnessed, what they watched him go through. And it is a different perspective than what CADE Smith would even have on his career and how he got here. What a great interview. Thank you very much, Tim.
Yeah, that was great, Tim. We couldn't be more appreciative of your time and your energy that you brought. That was fantastic.
Yeah, and how about he's a sports guy, he's a baseball
multi-sport athlete.
I mean, it was perfect.
It doesn't get much more relatable.
And he's like a sports psychologist. I mean,
seemingly,
man,
yeah.
Great advice.
Fantastic.
Great advice is the perspective. What struck me was when he was talking about, he was talking about going into the spring training, and CADE says, "Well, I got to make the team first." Right? I mean, how just absurd, right? For us listening, absurd for us to think that. But when you think like that, mentality-wise, as a player, it always makes you work. Like, what if someone comes in and throws better to me and takes my job as a closer?
Yeah,
right?
It's always in the back of his mind.
I got to go get it. I got to go get it. And when you feel like you have to go get it, you're always improving, always trying to drive. That's what makes them good, right there. That mentality. I hope young players who are out there who are listening to this and parents who are listening to this, that is the work ethic. That's the mentality you always have to have. You can't be good enough, right? At the moment, whatever you are at the moment can't be good enough. It's but fantastic interview, just fun to talk to him. And again, thanks to Tim Smith, and hopefully we didn't embarrass CADE with any crazy stories.
Thank you all so much for listening. Please like, subscribe, favorite, rate, or review, depending on your platform of choice, and don't be afraid to interact. You can find us on YouTube, Amazon, Spotify, Apple, or wherever else you listen to your podcasts. Pitchers and Catchers report next week, and we won't see another month without baseball until December. So until next time, have fun, stay safe, and as always, go Guards.
See ya.